We're now live.
Hi guys! We are going live tonight with the lovely Ashley Bender of Sugar High Vegan Bakery here in Louisville. And what are we making?
Tonight we're going to be making strawberry Pop-Tarts. So I've prepped a couple things already. I make everything from scratch. I've made my dough entirely from scratch. I have strawberry jam that I've made from scratch and also some glaze. But I wanted to make this easy for anyone who doesn't want to make things from scratch. So if you wanted to make easy Pop-Tarts on your own, you could always buy pie dough from the grocery store that's pre-made. I think most of it should be vegan. And you can buy your own jam. And glaze is really simple to make. You can just use confectioner's sugar, and I make my own strawberry extract syrup naturally, but you can use a strawberry flavor, or you can just use confectioner's sugar and a little bit of alternative milk or water, and you have glaze.
I have so many questions.
Oh,
confectioner's sugar is powdered sugar, right?
Yes.
Okay, second question. You can use pie crust because it's like the flakiness of it. That's what you need, right?
Right, because Pop-Tarts essentially are is a pie in a pocket.
Small pocket
yes.
pie.
It's a hand pie.
I'm grasping. It's
Yeah.
like a hot pocket.
Yeah.
But not hot.
Well,
Strawberry.
it can't be hot. But
Continue about making strawberry extract yourself.
So the way when I do my jams from scratch, I save, so I strain it to keep it really ooey and gooey and thick, all of the syrup or the juice that comes out of that, rather than throwing it away, I started saving all of it. So that's how I flavor my strawberry, my mixed berry, my blueberry Pop-Tarts, which are my signature flavors. The glaze that goes on them are naturally, they're not dyed to be that color. They are naturally that flavor from the excess juice from my jams.
Okay, so you're using every part of the berry and saving
everything.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
Very cool.
That's something that is a big thing for me, is trying to not to have as little waste as possible. So
what all goes into the filling besides the fruit itself? It's the confectioner's sugar? Or is that
for the jam?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were to make jam at home, there's a couple ways to do it. You can use frozen fruit or fresh fruit. If you're going to use fresh fruit, you'll want to add some liquid water. If you are using frozen fruit,
main liquid.
Yes. And for frozen fruit, you don't have to, because as it thaws, it's going to release
I've noticed that in
water.
smoothies.
Right. Yeah. So it's you can do it either way. I usually go the frozen fruit route.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can, if you cook it down for a couple of hours on a low heat, you can get to a sticky jam consistency easily through just cooking out the evaporation of it.
Okay.
But if you wanted to speed things up, a lot of people use cornstarch, tapioca starch, pectin. You can go down
A starch of some sort.
any of those routes. Yes. But if you, another thing, if you do make dough so I'll go back to dough.
Okay.
Dough and jam, they should be prepped a day ahead of time if you're doing it from scratch. If you're making your own jam, you should not use it when it's really hot. It should be chilled and cold, because it's going to set up a little more. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So I would, if you're doing it from scratch, if you make your jam, do it a day ahead of time. If you make your dough, you can do that at the same time. Do it a day ahead of time, because your dough should at least chill for 2 to 3 hours before you start rolling it out. Otherwise, it's going to be way too warm. But if
this is a nice hard brick because you've done just that. Yes.
Yes. Yep. And pie dough is super simple. There's not a lot that goes in it. The ingredients that I use in mine are flour, sugar, vanilla extract, water, and earth elements. I use Earth Balance for all of my butter alternatives. A big thing with pie dough is you don't want to over mix it or like overwork the gluten in it so it stays flaky and delicious. So you can even see that there's like chunks of butter, which is good. Like that, so you will want to use a pastry cutter when you're like cutting up the butter into your dough.
Okay.
But if you're doing it from, like if you're doing it the easy way, you can just buy pie dough and it should just, you should just have this like available to you.
Yeah.
So anyway, now I guess I will show you how I go about rolling out the Pop-Tarts.
Please.
All right, so I've been holding this with my bare hands, so I'm not gonna put gloves on. I was planning on it. Also, this has not been baked yet, so like technically, health code reasons, I can handle this dough without gloves on because it's not a prepared food yet. So I try to use, when I roll it out, I don't want to roll out the whole thing. Like I want to do it in small pieces because the more I overwork the gluten, like the more tough the texture becomes, and you want the pastry to be like as light and flaky as possible. So I do a little bit at a time. I usually just like flip it back and forth. I try not to get too much flour on it, but enough where it's not going to stick to the rolling pin or the surface that I'm using. And an important thing when you're rolling things out is to keep flipping it and moving it around. If you don't do that, it could get stuck to the surface that you're using, and by the time you get to the cutting part, it's too late, and then you have to re-roll it out, which is going to ruin the texture of your pastry. So I just kind of continue moving it around.
Okay.
And you don't want to make it too, like, when you do it enough times, you just kind of know the healthy medium, but like, you can do it like on the thicker side or the thinner side. I feel like I have a good in-between.
You know, the perfect Pop-Tart width.
Yes, and you also want it to be like even. So if you are like new to rolling things out, like a trick at the end of it, if you think things are good, you can always, instead of applying pressure, just like use the weight of the rolling pin to like roll it back and forth, because that will help just make it all like the same like thickness. So
Gravity will do it.
Yeah. And I brought a couple different cutters, and you can make Pop-Tarts however you want. Like you can use... I
don't think I've ever seen a heart-shaped Pop-Tart. That's so cute.
Yeah, I call them heart tarts. So I brought this, and I brought the... You can use cookie cutters at home, or like this is just a regular biscuit cutter. Or if you don't have these things, you can use a regular pizza cutter and cut out rectangles. That can be harder if you don't have like a ruler on you to make sure everything is the same. So that's why I like to use some sort of like cutout of something. Yeah. The top of a can work, like an aluminum can works too. So we'll do a couple of each. Obviously you have to have like a pair of each shape. And with this, I try to make as many as I can, like with how much dough that I have. So let's see.
Yes, strategy.
I feel like I can get 4 here, which is perfect. And it's fine. If this is a little short, it's okay. Because that can be
I really didn't see 4 coming, but you made it happen. I was like, nah.
Yeah. So then I like to pair them together just to keep count.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
Yes, it's gonna be really good. And then I'm gonna set the scraps. We can reuse these. Well, actually, I have enough of them, so I'm just gonna re-roll the scraps now. And I'll probably be able to get 1 or 2 out of it.
So I know.
And then next time, maybe you can try.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's harder.
Don't work yourself ragged.
It's harder than it looks.
I've made a few pies in my day.
Oh yes, then you know how it goes. And then I'm going to see if I can use the scraps to make one more just to finish this Pop-Tart.
What?
Sally.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold it while she's doing that real quick.
Okay.
We could still talk to each other. I'm just gonna go down.
There she
Look at those
goes.
cute little hearts.
Pulling it out.
I'm gonna be mobile. There's no reason to stay still.
Oh, I forgot. That's the reason.
Sally, don't walk in front of the camera.
I know, I just realized.
All right, so I guess now I will do circles instead of hearts. So I'm just gonna move some of the flour over before I start rolling out. And the trick with pie dough is you want to keep it, you want to do this fast because as it starts to warm up, it becomes harder to work with and it can really change the way the Pop-Tart tastes. Like it's best to work with chilled dough in like a cold room, or if you can somehow like space out your process where you're able to keep putting it back in the refrigerator. So now I think I can maybe get 4 of these.
Those really are like mini pies. They're gonna be like
Yes.
Uncrustables.
Oh yes. Yeah, I didn't want to go traditional Pop-Tart style today. So let's see. I think I could get one more out of this. And baking and decorating in the summertime is always harder.
Why is that? Just because it's sticky in the air?
Just, yeah, the stickiness and the heat, especially in these humid climates like Kentucky.
Pop-Tarts in Kentucky are a true labor of love.
Yeah, this is why it takes me such a long process with this, because I make everything from scratch, so I have to do it a couple days ahead of time to let everything get to like a chilled point.
Right.
And then sometimes I'll even have to pop it back into the refrigerator or freezer in between the process because it warms up so much.
The science of it all.
Yeah, exactly. I think I might need...
We really tried to have science music in the background of this video, but it didn't work out.
Alright. And you don't want to I use a lot of flour here, but it's going to be fine. You don't want to over flour things, because then even after it bakes, you're going to have that flour like on your Pop-Tart, and it's just going to have that like pasty, like floury taste that no one likes. So you want to use as minimal as possible without having your dough stick to your rolling pin at the surface. It tore a little bit, and that's fine. Oh, it tore again. That's okay, because you can always fix it. Yeah. This is like when you cannot panic, because we can still get stuff out of this. So I think the circles will work better with this.
Do you panic a lot while you make
Oh,
Pop-Tarts?
not anymore. Like I can fix any, like cakes, like when I first started baking and decorating, I wanted to do everything like so perfectly, and I don't know, I just thought there was one way to do it.
Right.
But there really is not. And as long as, like, you can fix anything as long as you like have the tools and the knowledge too. So.
Always love learning a new tool.
Yeah, I feel like decorating and baking is really all about knowing the equipment to use. Like you can decorate an amazing cake and people are like think you're, and not to say that you're not talented, but I feel like it's just knowing the tools to use to create that. And once you have that, anyone, like if anyone can teach themselves anything.
That I agree.
Especially on YouTube these days. That's how I learned.
These days.
Yeah, most of everything I've taught myself decorating wise has been from YouTube or work experience. So. All right, so I think maybe we can get one more. I'm gonna try to get one more heart.
I see it happening.
Definitely. And this can be, and then whatever the scraps are, I usually just like roll up and set to the side. And I still bake it off just because it's fun.
Perfect.
Yep, and then usually when this happens, when I have like a little bit left over, kind of like, I like to make like tiny little pies.
Tiny, yes.
And I'll just kind of
Sally
like,
do one? I want to see Sally get
A tiny pie?
tiny, you can try to make a tiny pie. This is gonna be the hardest thing yet.
Yes.
Yeah, make her do the hard stuff.
Yes. Please. I want to see what I do.
You can
put enough flour on this. Ooh.
A tiny pie for a lady with a tiny purse.
I do. I'll put it in here. It has to fit. That's the.
Yeah, you could do like a
My
tiny
purse,
little
my purse.
pocket where if there is like a pizza cutter somewhere around.
Oh,
Or a little knife.
that drawer right behind Sally should have one.
This one.
I can probably do this.
It's in there somewhere.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
do
you
a
can
heart.
do.
I'll come a little bit closer there, and I will let you hold that, and I'll hold the piece.
Are you doing a heart?
Yes.
I hear you. I
It's
feel.
all the way in the back. I found it.
I'm doing a little heart. Yes.
Well, it looks
Tools.
like Sally has it without the pizza cutter. Wow. Oh yeah,
Put
then
this
you can
on
do
the stream.
Another tiny heart.
Yeah.
So
She's freehanding that like a pro.
Yeah. Wow.
For my little love. Okay. One heart.
One tiny heart down. So cute.
Yeah, I suppose I should keep it nearby so I know what size it is.
Oh yeah, maybe just like you can trace around it
Yeah, good idea.
like a stencil.
Perfect. It's like, actually, I don't know what that last one looks like.
And the next part is my favorite part, which is filling the Pop-Tarts. So I will need a fork, which I think I saw.
I think I saw a fork once.
And a tablespoon. That works. Maybe 2 forks so Sally and I can do it together.
A tablespoon measuring device.
Yes.
Fork. And
Or, yeah, that works.
there we go.
Perfect.
Prior.
So cute. Go ahead and set it on down. So, I guess we can do this next part together. So the next part would be filling the Pop-Tarts. So, I usually take the tops off of everything.
Just set them to the side.
Yes. Okay. You're tiny. I'll let you do your tiny Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
And then I usually use this like scoopy thing, but a tablespoon also works if you want to try that.
Okay.
And basically what I'm doing is, you might need like a heaping tablespoon. But what you'll want to do is just put the jam right on. It stays together pretty well. And just kind of smooth it out, leaving the crust area dry. So like when we close it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can just go through.
Can you tell us what's in your jam? Is that secret?
Oh no. So really it's just sugar, lemon juice, and strawberries. And that's all it is. It's just a matter of cooking it down to this point. But it takes quite some time. And I prefer using frozen fruit.
Why is that?
Just because you don't have to add water or any sort of liquid. It kind of just like is the perfect ratio already, like when it gets to that boiling point.
Got it.
And because fruits are so perishable, it's just a lot less waste.
What other kind of jam do you like to use?
My signature flavors that I do strawberry, wild berry, which is strawberry, blueberry, and raspberries. And then I do a blueberry and a brown sugar cinnamon. Those are like my standard flavors. I can do more jams, but those are like my signature Pop-Tart flavors. And I'm now working on a dessert Pop-Tart menu, which so far I've done a birthday cake Pop-Tart and a hot fudge sundae Pop-Tart, which has a chocolate dough. And those don't have like a fruity filling. It's more like I would compare it to like a chess pie feeling. So it's very like dessert, but it's delicious. And then the next thing we do once the jam is on is lay the tops on to all of the bottom pieces. I kind of just like close it together with my fingers a little bit. The dough's warming up and getting soft. Usually I like to pop this in the fridge for about 15 minutes before moving on to this step, just so the dough is a little easier to work with. But doing that at home is hard in a regular home refrigerator.
And it's not the end of the world if I overstuffed it.
No.
We're coming out the edge.
It's fine. Yeah.
We are coming out the edge.
I think that's gonna be a good, very.
That's
very
your bleeding
full
heart, Sally.
Oh boy, is it.
And then the last thing to do, was there another fork by any chance? I think I saw one.
You're very demanding with these forks. There's one where you need two of them.
Yeah, just so Sally and I can do it together.
There's over here in this drawer.
Oh,
so right
gotcha.
there. Yeah. The baker is so demanding.
So then the next step would just be to close them. So I try to get as close to the outside as I can, where I'm still sealing them, but I'm not like making, too much of a crust. So just the very outside. I really love, they take a lot of time, but it's very therapeutic for me.
Pop-Tarts are cute.
Yeah, they're very fun. And they're really easy to do, even if you don't go the from scratch way.
Yeah.
Another fun thing.
This tiny one to try.
Oh yeah.
So delicate.
I forgot to bring them today, but I wanted to bring wooden dowel rods to put at the bottoms, because then you can make tarts on a stick. You can bake. Yep. Exactly. Because you can bake that.
Love that. Wow, how darling.
So cute.
Should we be worried that he's splitting?
Oh no, it's fine. They're all gonna like explode a little bit,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Why is it okay?
And we're using a regular home like kitchen oven. Usually I use convection oven, so I am baking these at 375. If you're doing it from home, you should bake these at 375. And they will bake a little longer, where if you're using a convection oven, you would bake it at 350 for about 15 minutes. These will take about 20 to 30 minutes. The last thing that we need to do is poke the steam holes so the jam doesn't try to escape through the seams. So I like to poke like 3 rows of holes. They do look like
for this tiny guy.
Uncrustables. Oh yeah, there we go.
So sad. He's bursting. I just want him to
The
succeed.
perfect
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna move these around because they are going to leak a little bit, and especially like in a regular home oven, when they're baking longer, it could like kind of explode even more. So I'm just trying to space them out. But yeah, so now we're gonna put these in the oven and set a timer, probably starting at 20 minutes, and then keep an eye on them from there.
I would like to let any and all viewers know that I'm done touching the food, which is why I get to lick my fingers.
Yes. All right.
Okay. So I'm gonna end the stream there for
Okay. We'll jump back
Instagram.
on once they're done, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We're ending that stream, but we're still recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So tasty.
should I
I want to eat like a spoonful of jam.
share
I
to
know.
IGTV?
So sweet.
Here, give it to me. I can
Yeah,
do
I
that
don't
stuff.
know. You can download whatever
Yeah.
you want to. Okay, so we're still recording. We're gonna have a beer.
Nice.
We're gonna chat over a beer and talk about business. Sorry.
Oh,
All
okay.
of us or just y'all?
I can also go live on my phone.
That's still a question. Everyone, or just you two?
Sally, do you want it? Julie? I don't think my mom likes it.
I would love one. I think I took the last one actually, though.
The last truly.
Yeah.
Aw.
There's some more variety pack things,
Yeah.
but not anymore.
Okay, we're gonna have a beer. We'll talk shop.
I'm gonna clean up the dough we stepped on.
Okay. And I'm gonna go live on Facebook for this part on my phone.
This part? What is this part?
Just for sitting around
Hanging
chatting.
out.
We're having a beer,
Oh,
and we're going to talk about starting a business.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Or whatever we want. We don't have to talk about
Oh, here
You're
still.
fine.
Okay, we're not moving.
No,
I now
we're
understand.
still recording.
Yes.
So
I
this
was like, where are we going, guys?
So this is gonna be
Hey.
just uploaded, raw
Okay.
to YouTube and Facebook later. But because our stream isn't working through our equipment, because God knows why, we're going to. It's fucking that equipment. I'm telling you. I just cursed on camera. I don't think it's a big problem.
We can edit. That's the whole beauty of this. We're not
so
live. No one knows.
The thing is, it's like anytime something happens, it's always happening for the first time. It's never like a repeat problem.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to start from scratch each time there's an error.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
then that's just things that will happen again later.
I think
Like one
it's
day
like
you'll
you
go
think.
through.
I keep thinking that.
I mean, maybe it's software updating. Like,
I mean, it could be any number of things. Okay. Sugar High. Alright, I'm gonna do a little intro first.
Okay.
Oh god. Alright. Hi everyone, it's Constance from Ghost Rock. We're here live with Ashley Bender of Sugar High Vegan Bakery. Is that the official name?
Well,
Sugar High Louisville.
Sugar High Louisville.
Okay, Sugar High Louisville at Sugar High Lou or Louisville.com, both work. Thank you, a website. She is one of our fabulous grantees from 2020, and we were going to go live about an hour or so ago. Our equipment kaputzed on us. We're going to record, but we are recording the whole thing, so we're getting a nice, like, super high res, like awesome video of the whole little Pop-Tart making that we just did. But right now, we're just chilling while they bake. So I thought we could go live together, us girls, and I wonder if I prop this up here, it'll be all right, like that.
Yeah, perfect.
And then we can like talk. We can talk business. We can start starting a business during a pandemic. Ready, go.
I don't know where to begin, honestly. I never intended or planned on opening a business right now. It was definitely a future goal, and nothing that I was ready for or wanting at the moment. My business, Sugar High, which is now officially an LLC, my own independent LLC, where I'm the sole owner. That's official as of July, and I've been in legit business with Sugar High as of August 1st, but prior to that, I worked with Louisville Vegan Foods, and they actually owned Sugar High. I still had like total creative freedom, and it was still my brand, but my business was a DBA. And when things just kind of started shutting down with the pandemic, I don't know, at first I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen with the way things were going, but the booth that I sold most of my stuff at, like retail wise, was at Logan Street Market. And I think it was just a good decision at that point, the owners, to pull out of Logan Street, because who knows, I mean, I know people still go there, but you know, you're not trying to put employees at risk, and it just seemed like the safest idea to pull out of that. So when that was done, I kind of knew I had to make a decision and start thinking ahead. When unemployment ends, what am I going to do? And am I going to try to work somewhere else, like find another job, or everything that I know and what I've built, do I just go for it now? And so that's kind of what I did. And
before you even did that, though, you had built up a little bit of a following, like people knew of you as Sugar High.
Yeah. So I wasn't like, it wasn't like the time that I expected to be doing that, but I'm very, very grateful that I got like kind of like I feel like Louisville Vegan Foods was like my launch pad into the business world, and I'm lucky that Stan, the owner, has like helped me as a mentor and like given me a lot of advice like on how to, and I could always hit him up with any questions that I have, because I really don't know what I'm doing. I didn't go to business school.
And that Stan is Louisville Vegan Jerky's founder and owner.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And then
if you know, we're familiar with it. So one of our clients carried his product in their shop.
Cool. Yeah.
And it's a great product. I'm not vegan, but they're really tasty. I ate them all the time, snacks. So.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah. And Morel's is open again now. They're doing curbside pop-ups. Yeah.
Nice.
Thursday through Sunday.
They're really good too.
Yeah, and my desserts can be found there. So I'm just doing one dessert item every 2 weeks. But like we're still working together, and Stan is a big help. Because this is like, I feel like I learn new things every day as far as the business world goes.
So you opened your LLC like a month ago. You've had time to process that. How do you feel? How do you feel now? Do you feel like more legit? Do you feel proud that you're going down that path?
It's been hard to if it was a different year, or last year, or before a pandemic or civil uprising, like it might feel different, but like I've been so distracted by like bigger things I feel like going on that I haven't really had time to celebrate my own success, or really give myself that like pat on the back. Like sometimes it hits me and I'm like, I'm doing this, but this year's already been so weird that it doesn't feel that weird, because like I feel like our tolerance for weirdness. Like, who knows what's going to happen next? Like, so that's kind of like where I'm at, like, with that. But yeah, no, sometimes I do step back and I'm like, I'm doing this. Like, this is crazy. Like, I've always wanted to do this. I've had dreams to be doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this. And the circumstances have forced me to do this, which I'm glad, because honestly, I don't know. I would definitely, like, I wanted to open my own bakery one day, but I feel like I did have a security net with Louisville Vegan Foods and, like, having other people, like, on a team with me, that it's been really, like, liberating being able to do it on my own and realizing that, like, I can say whatever I want. I can post whatever I want. And at the end of it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I was like, I am my own boss. Mm-hmm. And I create my own schedule. And I can do things however I want to do, because I'm so not used to that I find that I've given myself these, like, rigid rules. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be like that. I can, like, there are no rules. Like, that's the glory of being a business owner. You can do things however you want. So I'm, like, slowly getting to that point where I'm, like, adapting to this, like, new way of working, like, having, like, this, like, work ethic with myself.
What's your goal? Like, is there, like, I know it's kind of like to talk about goals, but seriously, I mean, do you want a location, or do you want, like, to be something that only exists online for a while, or is the goal to have employees, to, like, grow it to multiple locations? Like, what would you love to see happen?
Right now, before pre-COVID, always imagined myself having a storefront, and kind of, like, the success, I kind of, like, partnered that with, like, if you're a successful, like, bakery owner, you have a storefront that's open to the public. Then COVID happened before I even started my business, and the way things are going now and restaurants are going now, like, I'm lucky that I didn't have to redesign my entire, like, business model, and I can go into this new way, like, this curbside out, exchange with what I'm doing now, which kind of gives me an upper hand, because before this I would have never have the money to have a storefront at this point, but because everyone is curbside, I'm on, like, an even playing field with everyone now. When before I would still be working out of a prep kitchen who's not open to the public, so now we all have to do this because it's mandatory. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of works out in my favor. And so at this point, the idea of I want to have employees, like, one day, but I really want my business to be, like, small and humble to begin. Like, I really just want to, I just have so many ideas. Like, I really just need to figure out what my own brand is, like, and evolve on my own before I, like, welcome new people on board, and also know that I can even pay myself before I, like, commit
we were
to
talking
paying
a
other
little
people.
bit about that before.
Yeah, and,
Sally
like,
got here.
learning how to pay myself and what I should pay myself has been hard, or how I'm even doing, like, it's just, and it's hard, like, doing it all alone, because I feel like this month of August was definitely over capacity, like, working 12 to 14 hours a day, like, 6 days a week, which is fine because I'm, like, having fun with it and I love it. It's, like, my life. But how, like, is it reasonable for me? Am I going to make a sustainable income working alone without help? That's something that I need to figure out. Because I do a lot of different things. A lot of bakeries are really streamlined. They just do one product. They do cookies, they do cakes only, or they don't do custom cakes. I do so many different things, which require more ingredients, more space, from dry storage to fridge, freezer. There's just so much, like, I'm taking on a lot, like, a full menu as one person. But, like, I'm excited that, like, I have enough orders. Like, it could be the opposite problem. Like, if I'm over capacity, that's awesome. It's just I'm tired.
Sounds like you could use, like, somebody part-time, at least, that you could train up over time and maybe, like, just on your busiest days,
I want to get to that point. I just, like, I need to figure out I still am so confused on taxes and
I
like, you know,
that.
so before I have, like, I need a CPA, I need, like, an official, like, I don't know, I just need some help before I hire up a human being onto.
Did it die?
It died.
Oh.
That's all right, but we can still hang out. I'm recording this. Yeah.
Wait, are we still recording?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Recording. Just
But yeah, like, I don't know, it's just been, it's super cool. Like, I don't know. I feel like weird though, like, I feel undeserving sometimes. Or I feel like I
That
self-sabotage
you're not.
myself a lot.
So let's talk
Or
about
imposter syndrome.
what questions about taxes do you have? Let's see if we can sort them out while we record. Because
Okay.
this might be this is really useful information that applies across the board to all business people. So this is the kind of stuff that we want to get out there so that people who want to start things aren't intimidated by it.
Yeah, so like this has been my first month and I feel like I have a good like I'm trying to do things the smart way. I've had a lot of people, I know I talked about this a little earlier, I'm gonna check on the Pop-Tarts for a second.
Did we set a timer, or you just
I did
know
not.
in your
I
soul?
I just kind of like no. But but if you were
Just sit
setting
at
a
my- I'm
timer,
so good.
it would be 30. It would be like 25 minutes, I'd say, at an at-home oven.
There is a timer here, by the way.
I don't know how much time has gone.
wow.
by.
Yeah. I know. We'll just.
I can start to smell it, so like I kind of know what smells.
It does smell.
We are
amazing.
right
It
next
smells
to it.
amazing.
Yeah.
But that'll still alert you.
What was I saying? Taxes.
Taxes. So interesting. We're talking about taxes. Such a great subject. It's one of those things that no one ever wants to talk about, but everyone stresses about.
Yeah,
secretly.
I saw your
so-
Instagram page while we were talking about this.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
What?
Oh, he's showing your Instagram page.
Oh,
instead,
okay,
so
cool,
people
cool.
know can follow you.
Yeah. So yeah, like for like I'm really kind of clueless when it comes to the business. I feel like a lot of people open businesses and they have a lot of money going into it. Like I had nothing. Like I had like I think I put $1,000. I don't know if talking about money is tacky. I'm a new business owner, so
Well,
I don't
listen.
know if that's wrong. But
Well, here's the thing. Maybe it's tacky if you go to a dinner party with like friends and family, and you're there to socialize in a casual way. But it is absolutely essential if you're with your peers talking about business.
Yeah,
you
and if
have to talk
people-
about money.
yeah.
Because you have to know what other people have paid. You have to know. So you then it gives you an idea what you need to pay yourself, what your employees, your expectation of your employees, how you can configure it to work with your business. We have to talk about money because silence is gonna not be helpful.
Right.
You can't make decisions in a vacuum.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
I would say like I started with my business account. I put like $1,000 into it. I don't really know what the threshold should be at, but like I have a goal for myself to when I get to 5,000, then I'll give myself a raise, and then I get to like I don't know if I don't even know how much to grow that account. I feel like once I have a CPA, like things will be.
It depends on how we do it on a monthly basis. So if that this helps, so how much revenue you have coming in per month, and then you kind of look at, because it's going to fluctuate, obviously. So, but then you look at what's a baseline of revenue that I know I can make every month. So say you bring in $5,000 a month, which will be great.
I don't think that's happening.
So say you do, but sometimes it's 5,000, sometimes it's 3,000. But you know for sure you're going to make 2,000. So then 2,000 will be your baseline of your salary, and that's like 24,000 a year.
Yeah.
So then you set it up so you're getting paid 24,000 a year, and then everything else over and above it. So you have to figure in your operating costs, like how much you spend on ingredients, how much you spend on rent, how much you spend on, other things, a payroll service, software, your website, etc.
Yeah.
And then kind of factor that in and just make sure that all kind of falls in of what you 100% can make that month. And then everything else over and above that is going to be your profit on a monthly basis.
Right.
So that's kind of how we do it.
How much do you want to, should your profit be going to your salary, or should your profit be staying in your business account? Like,
well,
where
you're
does
an
the profit
LLC
lie?
and you're just one person. You don't have any employees. So right now it's a pass-through, what's called a pass-through entity. So you just pay yourself out of your bank account.
Right. I just transfer money over.
Right. So we were talking about this earlier. We transferred to an S corp recently. So I said 2 years, but it's actually more like 3 years that we waited until we got to a certain revenue to transfer our tax status to S corporation, because that you'll save more money on taxes that way. And in that case, then you have to have a payroll system, and ours is automated. So we automatically get paid every 2 weeks, all three of us. And we just signed up for like a software that does it automatically, and they also file your quarterly taxes for you and
What
all that stuff.
So do you have a CPA, or do you just use your...
Our payroll is Gusto. We do have a CPA who files our taxes yearly, because we have to we're a partnership, so we have to file what's called a K1 every March 15th. And then we also... They also filed our S corporation status for us, but you can do it yourself. It's just like it's just a headache if you don't know what you're doing. But the forms are really not as bad as everyone makes them out to be. I feel like we overcomplicate things as humans generally, and because if you overcomplicate the form, it can be intimidating. But it's not that bad. But I would advise finding a CPA who's sort of a small business themselves, who wants to build their client list and whatever, and offers reasonable rates. It's something very standard, so they should be able to execute it for you if you need help.
Yeah. And is that something you do on like a quarterly basis?
They do stuff for us once a year, and we get a bill once a year.
Okay, so
We
you
don't
like
do-
owe once a year. Otherwise, you would do it 4 times a year. Is there a
quarterly.
benefit to doing it?
Yeah, you can have CPAs do it for you quarterly, like filing estimate.
what is
There's a
the
thing called
pro?
estimated tax. So if you're every quarter, you're going to have to pay estimated tax on whatever income comes out of your business bank account. And instead of that, it's the same tax you would have paid once a year if you have W-2 wages and you file your taxes.
Right.
It's just that since you don't have W-2 wages, it's on you to fill out the quarterly forms and pay estimated taxes
All the
every
taxes
quarter.
that people,
Yeah.
That's
So-
what I tried to do. Like, I made a spreadsheet of my, like, net income, or like my sales, and then my gross, and then a separate column for all of the taxes for every single order, and added all of that up,
Yeah.
and then put that aside. Because I just want to know, I don't want to like look at my...
Do you charge sales tax? Yeah.
Yep. Like with,
Do you have a sales tax account with the state? Because you can set that up to be automatically taken out of your bank account.
I think I do. I think I did do that.
Okay.
I had some sort of letter in the mail.
Yeah,
where I
that's
had to,
how
like,
they
sign up
say.
for
And then
the-
the city will send you
like
a
the-
letter like, we
yeah.
noticed that you're not paying taxes. We want your money too.
Yeah, I see. This is I get these letters and I'm like, I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
You know. So, but I mean, I've done everything that I filled out everything that I'm just like trying to stay on top of it as far as putting money, like knowing that the money that I'm making is going to be taxed, and not to just like look at that number and think like that's all mine, because it's not, because it's probably like 30% of that being taken out for taxes.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
once you factor in the city and the state and federal. But yeah, it's good that you're thinking of setting aside, because then it'll make it easier.
Yeah, I was
For
an
you,
independent contractor for a while, cleaning houses, and my paychecks were not taxed. So from then forward, that was when I kind of learned to keep track of expenses, like things I could write off. So I'm trying to like treat it the same way.
Yes. It is the same. It's the same thing basically, except that the only thing an LLC does that's different is it legally separates you as an individual, Ashley, from your business entity.
Right.
So if someone wanted to sue you because their cake poisoned them, not that that's never going to happen. But
Especially
anyway,
with vegan food.
yeah. But say hypothetically, they would sue your business, but not you. So your personal finances would not be at risk. That's the whole point of having an LLC, is to separate you legally. But other than that, it
and a
functions
sole
very similar.
proprietor, is that what it is? Because that's like, because there's like sole proprietorship.
Yes,
and
that's
then
just if
LLC.
you're a freelancer. Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought about going that route, but I just thought I would grow out of it too quick.
You
Like
would.
it makes sense, like where I am now. I feel like I could get by, but it's like the direction I want to go. I don't know, like, cause what is a sole proprietor? Like, what is?
It's a freelancer.
Yeah, I don't even.
That's all it is. Yeah.
So is that like an independent contractor?
Yeah, you don't even have to. You don't have to file any paperwork to declare yourself a sole proprietor unless you wanted to have a different business name, which you did with the DBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So doing business as, you go to the county clerk and they just fill out a paper and stamp it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, but as sole proprietor, you can just claim that on your yearly taxes and not ever have to do any other paperwork. Basically, it's a freelance category.
Yeah.
LLCs, it's like a step up. Because now you're preparing yourself to hire people, you're preparing yourself to track your expenses better,
Mm-hmm.
You're preparing yourself to become a larger operation, essentially.
Right.
And you've legally separated yourself from the business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you've done. And then the next step up after that, you become a corporation. That means you have employees. That means you have like benefits,
when you have
payroll.
employees and benefits and payroll, you're automatically a corporation?
No. Some people say LLCs indefinitely because LLCs are much better at owning property. Like an S corporation is not good at owning property.
I honestly don't know
tax
the difference with. I always
Yeah.
hear these words, but I never actually knew the nitty gritty of like what they mean, like corporation versus business.
It doesn't, like, some companies will be huge and remain an LLC. Like, it doesn't make sense for every company to become have corporate status tax wise.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how your company operates. But for you, LLC is good.
Mm-hmm.
So you can build on that. But it functions totally the same like freelance right now until you have a payroll system.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not intimidating. But here's the thing. It's just boring to talk about. And we know it's boring to talk about. But it's important information for people who are young or not young. It doesn't matter. Starting a business for the first time. And you just get intimidated by the letters you get in the mail, which are often like not creative writing. Or
it takes me like 10 times to read over them to
empathetic
understand what's happening.
They're typically very...
And I'm like, I have no one to ask.
Yeah, they're
like,
written by bureaucrats who take it for granted that everyone reading them has their knowledge, which is silly. So that's an idea. We should start ads like saying, hey, are you a bureaucrat who has a writing gig? Outsource it to some creatives. We will make sure that people pay their tax. If they get a letter in the mail that is amazing to read, it's like the page of a novel, and you make it very clear what they have to do, and it's also entertaining, how many more people will be signing up for their tax accounts?
Right. Yeah, why does it have to be so complicated and confusing?
Yeah, just lay out.
Like, why does it have to be so many commas and so many big words? Like,
just start it. Be like, hello, new business owner. So you've taken the plunge.
Yeah, the iPhone for the.
We're so proud of you.
Business.
Thanks for living in our city.
Yeah.
Here's the bullet points of what you have to do next. You're awesome. We're going to take your taxes, but you're going to see things happen with it, and this is what's going to happen. We love you. Sincerely, the city that you live in.
Yeah.
How many more people?
That gets me excited. So.
That's what we should do.
But
anyway.
I know, like, and also I feel like another thing, and the more I talk to other business owners, who I met a lot of new business owners working through Chef Space.
Yeah.
Because it was like a food incubator, and other people, not necessarily just bakeries, like so many different types of food, but who did not have the means at the time to have a storefront, or they chose to just do reservation, like order basis type things. I met so many business owners through that who've given me so many like resources and like so much help, and it's just like so many times, like when I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, I talk to other people who are doing the same thing as me, and they're like, yeah, we don't know what we're doing either. And it makes me feel so, it's just like, we just started doing that, or we like, so it makes
it's crazy.
It makes
You'd be
comfort to
surprised
me.
how many businesses have been operating for years without even starting an LLC, which puts their whole business at risk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I'm just so like, I don't know. I'm so I'm the type of person who like plans for like the worst, like in general. Like I'm like a type, like I have a plan A, B, C, D. Like no matter what happens, I have a way out. I'm very careful with everything that I do.
That's really good.
sometimes overly careful and overly organized, or like it hurts, like where I'm like, I'm wasting my time doing this. But like, I don't know, I guess it does make me feel better when I talk to other people and they're like, yeah, like we haven't even, like, we've been open for X amount of time, we've never done that, or we haven't tried this yet. And I don't know, I feel like it's comforting. It's also good to put out there that, and maybe can motivate other people who are thinking about starting a business who don't know what they're doing either, that you can do it.
You can. It's not rocket science.
You learn like as you go.
Yeah.
Like I learn every day, like even like meeting you all, like I've learned stuff today. Like I've learned like in the connections that you make, and as you make connections, they keep branching off and you connect with more people, and eventually like you, I don't know, like you figure it out. And just like with age, I feel like no one ever like knows what they're doing or like doing the right thing. There's always so many questions, but yeah, so that's just like where I'm at now. I'm gonna check on these Pop-Tarts.
I hear you. Let's check on them.
They smell good. I had
They
to
do.
pop it in the oven on my way in.
They do smell good.
A little
Fitz is
longer.
very excited about it. Look, he smells it.
Yes.
Hi, Fitz. You don't get any Pop-Tarts because
Is it okay if I use your restroom?
Yes.
All right.
Fitz will be interviewed in the meantime.
Oh yes.
What's on your chin, Fitz?
Mulch.
How
He
old
likes to
is
stick his
Fitz?
face in the mulch. He's like 9 or 10.
Tell me.
But he's spry for his age. He's a fit fella.
Alliteration.
Yeah.
Cutie.
We killed it.
I did clear us out.
So we're still recording. So yes.
Do we have anything to talk about?
Sally. I don't know. We talk all the time, so I feel like
We do.
what else new is there?
Which
to
of your
say?
emails have I not responded to yet?
There's probably a few. We don't need to talk about business right now.
No. Something or the other.
Let's talk about your apron here.
Must we?
We're doing
The situation
vegan
is-
baking, and Sally's such an ironic hipster that she's donned an apron that
I-
says steak of Kentucky.
I am not the source of this irony. This is your home.
That's true. It's true. I gave it to you.
This is your home.
I confess.
And I confess to loving a steak, but appreciating the necessity of vegan food.
yeah,
I'll choose it,
I
but I also
I
choose a steak
respect
at
the
times.
I'll tell you what I respect. And I'm also not vegan, but I do respect the discipline that it takes
Definitely.
to adjust your diet in any extreme way, because that
Yeah.
takes a lot of like mental focus. You know, you have to be aware when you go into restaurants. You have to be aware when you grocery shop on a level that many of us who are omnivores
Can't fathom.
don't think. you
Right,
know?
but-
So there is like a mental dexterity to it that I respect, and I also respect. I think it's a healthy lifestyle for sure.
Mhm.
You know, and it's like, and people are doing a lot of fun things with vegan food that
Right.
really tasty. You know,
I would never look at something that Ashley makes and think about what it's missing. You know?
exactly.
It's perfect.
I'm very curious about it. I'm
Yes.
curious about the possibilities because I do think that. But I will say this for the record. I think that what I would really love to see more of, because I do like meat, and I did try to go vegetarian for a while. It did not work out. It did not feel good. And I would love to see people cooking with bugs. And I'd like to know what a vegan thinks about that.
Cooking with bugs.
With bugs, like crickets and grasshoppers and other grubs.
I know it's
You
not
really caught me off
vegan.
guard with that.
It's not. It's not.
I mean, even honey
Vegan.
is not vegan. Anything
Oh,
that
honey
any-
doesn't. Honey's not vegan either, huh? That's news to me. I
Oh,
didn't know
anything
that
that is like
Animal.
derived from an animal, like any sort of, whether it's even, it doesn't even have to be food related, but if you have, like silk isn't vegan.
Right.
So bugs are not outside the realm of like
What I will,
sympathy for animals. They're still like so.
It's
Say,
about sympathy.
let me just paint a picture. I'm not saying that this happens, but I just want to know exactly how it works. Say there's a plague of locusts. It's like a plague. They're like eating all the crops. But you can also
Will
eat
you cook
them.
with locusts?
Would you then consider making a flour of locusts?
Probably not. Like, no, because it's still like,
I like
and the
how
thing
you
is, like,
try your-
I try not to be like a rigid vegan where I don't like to eat or consume byproducts of things that are living animals. But at the same time, I'm not going to like put down anyone who does, or like if it's in like a culture, like I also don't see like, I don't know, things can get real hot on this topic, but
So you wouldn't necessarily support it, but you wouldn't not support it either.
yeah, and I feel like
I think that's acceptable.
something interesting to bring up, kind of on that subject with like insects who, okay, because I don't know off the top of my head if insects have like nervous systems or what they feel, but I do know that they're living things, and I just like don't eat or like consume any byproducts of things that were living, right? So, but there is an argument from some vegans and that, okay, scallops, mussels, oysters, they technically are sea plants. They don't have nervous systems. They're like less, not to say they're less than, because we're all
mussels
watching
watching
this, you know.
It's
but
fascinating. It's like fish on Lent. Like there's
but
religious groups that believe fish are like a lower order.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
and
it's
that's
like
and that's like what would go into like speciesism, you know,
Yeah.
where you are.
Because they're basing it on what they believe to be consciousness, like
Right,
some
or
sort of
people
sentient
could
quality.
think that they are vegetarian, like they're not eating meat, but they eat fish, but they don't eat meat.
Right.
And it's like, what to you makes a fish different from a cow or chicken?
I think the difference is they can keep a cow or a chicken as a pet, and a fish doesn't care about them. I think it's that connection to domestic animal who are like farm animals who you get attached to, but a fish doesn't care about you.
I know my lizard doesn't care about me, and I love him.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Right.
I think that generally
Well,
speaking, that's probably what the division is.
Yeah,
Like, is this an animal I can have a relationship with versus an animal I don't have a relationship with?
Yeah.
Relationship.
And like going back to to that subject, is they apparently, from the last I've read, which has been a while since I've like read this book, but mussels, scallops, oysters, they don't have, they're technically like sea plants. So just like we eat like, you know, seaweed or like ocean plant food or earth plant food, that they are considered the same thing, even though they're quote unquote living, but plants are also quote unquote living. So technically it is not vegan to eat those things if they are handpicked. But there is so when someone is fish, the problem with fish is, and I'm not saying like if you did it by hand it's any better, because like I still don't eat fish, but if you're say fishing for tuna, there's tuna farmers out there and they don't have so they're out there with a huge net and they are fishing for tuna. They are collecting all of the whatever they're looking for, if it's a tuna farmer, this whatever, but other animals are getting caught in that net too. A lot of animals that are endangered species, sea turtles, dolphins, sharks, whales, they are also affected by, so that's what makes it not vegan. So say if scallops technically are vegan, if they're not hand-picked out of like a farm where there's no other animals hurt, then technically there's no like cruelty done. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing it where you're putting a net out and you other things can get killed in the process, then that's kind of the issue. And that's like kind of the issue, like I feel like in America with factory farming in general. Like it's just like so like because it's not like that everywhere. Yeah. You know, and I have nothing, and I'm so for like farmers, and also like I don't know, this is probably controversial, but like people who hunt, like I feel like if you're like, I still personally, morally could not eat animals or kill an animal, but I feel like raising animals that you're going to eat in a slaughterhouse from birth to the short, sad life that they have is a lot like worse purchasing like full of hormones and stuff than people who are doing it more like hands-on.
Yeah.
You know, and
no, I mean, I don't think it's controversial to say that a hunter has probably more connection to the natural order of things.
Yeah.
And the respect for the animal the animal's life. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, in hunting, there's a lot of regulations of, like, the kinds of animals you can kill. You can't kill one that's not mature. Mm-hmm. You can't kill... They have to be a certain age. A lot of hunters are really, really respectful of that. Like, they won't kill a mother with a doe, you know, like, that kind of thing. And I think that it's because, like, you respect the life that you're taking, and also if you're not doing it for sport, if you're doing it for food, you're using most of the animal. Mm-hmm. And I think that's much more respectful than just cutting off like a piece and then.
Right.
I absolutely agree, factory.
Yeah, and being 100%. A consumer in this like terrible like, I don't know, like that's why. If people are, I mean, I'm no gatekeeper, but I do, I understand and respect, like, hunters more than I would just, I have to say, because, and also people...
Factory corporate, like, huge farms.
But I also know, like, you know, people need to get there are food deserts out there, and people don't have the resources or the money to have vegan foods, and I'm totally, like, I understand that, so I never want to be, like, a vegan person who's like, I don't know, make like a pretentious thing where I like anyone else who is not vegan is like less than, and that's why I want my business to be like, and it's not healthy foods because I don't have like fresh fruit and vegetables, but like I still want like people who are trying to go the vegan route who still want their vegan junk food who where it can be accessible and they can afford it,
or they have a birthday or like something and they want to be able to have
and like
cake
and veganism doesn't always have to be super expensive. Like I'm on a budget too. I don't buy the luxurious vegan products. I don't buy fake meat. I don't buy fake cheese. I don't buy vegan cream cheese, vegan sour cream. On a special occasion, I will.
Some of the fake meat products have gotten really good.
They are really good. They're just expensive, and I feel like when
there's a lot of oils and stuff in them too, which is not great for you all the time.
Yeah,
I wish they were
and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they have to pack it to make it try to taste like meat, and I feel like that took a lot of people down a path.
That's okay. Also, should we go back live on the?
Yeah, I think they could use like 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We're having an interesting conversation. We're recording all of it.
But I feel like
we're gonna post this tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be kind of late, but we'll see what happens.
You're now live.
Oh, great.
We're live on a third time.
Yeah. Will this bump the previous live? I can't remember how that works.
Bump?
Yeah. Or they just adds to it.
I am saving them as IG reels, or not reels,
nice.
But
that'll work.
The long ones, whatever that is.
Yeah. The long ones.
Yeah.
Do you know what the long ones are called?
We just had a really interesting conversation, which was fortunately recorded.
Yes.
About veganism and vegan philosophy, and we're going to post that on Facebook and YouTube late this evening. We had some snafus with the Facebook stream.
Yeah, and one important thing I want to say on that subject with like we were talking about vegan meats and cheeses and like I think a lot of people think to go vegan they have to eat the way they are, but with vegan meats like they're gonna just continue eating the same way they are, but like with vegan products, which are really expensive, like vegan cheese is expensive, sour cream, mayonnaise, whatever. But you don't have to go vegan eating all of that stuff. Like most of my diet is I eat just vegetables. Like for breakfast, like I love to have I love tofu scramble. which is super cheap. A block of tofu is like $2.
It's good. It's yummy.
It's so good. And you can just add like onions, tomatoes to it. And then another thing, I love to make like wraps with just like hummus. I love tortillas. I always have tortillas, corn and flour. And just, you can put anything into a wrap. I love roasted vegetables, carrots, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower. Beans, there's so many, you can
I'm so
fill
hungry right
up.
now, by the way.
Yeah,
This
you
is
can
not
you can go vegan
very pleasant
on a budget.
conversation.
You can go vegan and spend less
We should
money
order Taco City.
than
I did that yesterday.
Taco City is good.
Taco City is so good.
It's so
Everybody
good.
is in
Taco City,
Louisville.
promote us.
Yes, everybody in Louisville. Family-owned local business, Taco City. We have ordered hundreds of dollars worth of Taco City. What?
It's so, it sucks that we're not live now.
I know.
We are live.
I know, it
Oh, are
sucks.
we? Oh, yeah. Okay.
We're live right there on Instagram. Taco
Say something,
City.
Nickel.
Look how cute he is with his mustache. That's my husband, everybody. Don't steal him.
Her husband. I like this format of live. We should just go from a phone more often.
Yes, I think we should, because obviously we wouldn't have as many issues.
We're
with
too
our equipment.
produced.
We're too produced.
This situation
We become too
is
produced.
so complicated.
Fitz, what do you
Whereas
think?
I am having a blast and a half just walking
Fitz.
around.
What do you think?
Looking at stuff. Whoa, these came out of the oven and I didn't even notice.
And your
look
tiny-
how
your
rude.
tiny one is so
Amazing.
cute. Yeah, so this always happens. Not to worry when you see a jam come out of the Pop-Tarts. That happens every
It
time.
smells amazing. You know what
Oh
that
my
smells
God.
like? I'm gonna tell you right now.
Strawberry pie?
Love.
Wait a second.
It smells like love.
It's the
right?
hardest.
When did this happen?
It came out and we didn't notice
I know, we didn't
because
even
she was
notice.
so subtle.
It was so now you have to, now we're gonna
Okay.
decorate them, right?
Yeah, so usually
Can I decorate?
We're gonna do things. It's very
You're
hot.
crazy.
We do
Yeah.
things.
Crazy person.
Okay,
I thought I
so
could handle it,
if
but-
it's okay, if you don't mind, I will move the Pop-Tarts from the tray onto the countertop to cool them a little. Or another tray. Because I usually wait for my Pop-Tarts
Here.
to cool for about 30 minutes before I add the glaze, because I like the glaze to not run off the sides.
Okay,
So is it okay if I move these here?
that's fine.
Just
Do
because
you need a? Here we have this.
Oh, yeah, that works too. But this way, so if you are doing this, once you move them, see, the jam is not a problem. They leaked. It's fine. And things are going to be a little runny today because we're doing this when they're still warm. But when I do this, I usually let them cool for about 30 minutes before I move on to the glazing part. But we're going to do this right away. And they're going to be hot for a while. It's going to be, we don't want to bite into these.
So we have to have more conversations.
Yeah.
That's a shame. We ran out of beer, but
This tiny little heart is so cute.
but we never really did settle the bug issue. I really would like to see more bug recipes, like cricket flour. That's a thing, by the way, cricket flour.
I don't know. I really love insects.
my
Canned grubs.
My friend who's in town right now, for her birthday 2 years ago, she had me eat a bug. That was what she asked for a gift.
What kind of bug was
There we
it?
go.
It was a cricket, and it went.
I like
You
cricket.
ate it? You did eat it?
I did consume it. It was at a restaurant. It was at
Oh.
a dish.
Yeah, I've seen
Oh, wow.
guacamole decorated with fried crickets.
Right.
and
It
things
was
like
at a Mexican restaurant in
Yeah.
Brooklyn somewhere, and she was like, "Haha, it's my birthday. You guys are eating the bugs. I'm ordering them." And that was her gift.
How was it?
Not ideal, but it's now in my past.
So it didn't taste good.
No. Well, I also was so worked
I
up.
could-
I'm
I
like,
could
I'm
never
about
do
to
that.
eat a bug, right?
Oh, because did it look like a
Yes,
bug?
it was just like they were seasoned, like if you dusted tamame.
See, that's the thing. You shouldn't make it look like a bug. That'll
It
freak
was
people out. It has to
very
look
clearly
not like
But
a
if
bug.
you can avoid eating any living thing, then why not?
I agree.
Why do we need crickets?
Well, I would love the protein packed meal, and also I don't have as much of a moral objection to it as you guys do, which I totally respect and I absolutely admire, and I think it shows you to be more sensitive, empathetic people than myself. but I would be the kind of person who would be a hunter. I do think factory farming is awful and evil.
Right.
But I don't think I would have a problem killing my own food as long as everything was used properly and not wasted and the animal is respected.
Right.
And I also have no problem eating bugs.
Bugs just like are gross. I mean, I think they're
First of
cute.
all,
I
that's the
never
end
want
of
to
the
eat.
debate.
I
First of all,
never want
no.
to eat one.
This is it. It's like I get eaten alive by bugs every summer and spring, and they have waged war. They are eating me. So as far as I'm concerned,
Are you getting revenge?
this is payback, and like they need to learn that it's not cool to like devour human flesh. It will devour you back. I mean, to me,
Would you
this
eat
is nature.
mosquitoes? Because they're the only ones who eat us up, right?
Absolutely, I eat mosquitoes. I eat whatever's biting me. I like spiders actually.
I like
If you ate a
They eat
mosquito, it would be full of other
but here's the
people's
other
blood.
thing.
Yeah.
Everything in nature, like spiders eat other little bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Lions eat gazelles.
You know.
Like, those are the hunters. You have predators who survive that way, and nature
That's just an
did that.
internet fact.
Right.
You know?
But they can also, and another
Can you hold my phone for
thing,
a second, please?
gosh, I hate to be, because I'm not a person who judges anyone who's not vegan. But one thing to point out is, as humans, we can kill animals with our bare hands, but we don't have the weapons like a bear, like the other animals who are predators who kill other animals. They have canines, they have claws, they have some sort of mechanism where they can kill something. Venom. We don't have any of those traits. The only way we kill animals is through man-made weapons, which a lot of people consider just as much
This
as
I disagree with. I think we're bad at a lot of things. It's because our brains are so big, and that's our main tool for everything. So we set traps because we're smart and we know how to use tools.
Right. Yeah. No, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. A lot of people agree that like having canines or claws, like having opposable thumbs to create these things, is just as like they mean like there's no difference.
Yeah.
So the argument goes either way, but it's just something interesting to think about.
It's interesting to think about.
On either side.
For sure, it's interesting to think about. I find it fascinating to talk about how people have a relationship with their food in general, whether it's veganism or any sort of.
Yeah.
It's a complex relationship for the individual person, their relationship to food, so, and how they approach it, and like what they put into that relationship is really interesting for the individual, and it defines people a lot. I think, like, for instance, I feel differently when the food on my plate looks beautiful. I like to have a beautiful looking plate, but it makes absolutely no difference to my husband. Like, he could care less.
Yeah.
But it tastes different to me. You know what I mean? And that's just like my own, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Artistic expectation coming out.
Right.
And it also like food disorders, like eating disorders. And that how you express your anxiety or lack of control in the way you eat, or how you express your empathy or your care for
Or like how
for
like
life, in your case, your care for life in the world, and how you eat, because that is the thing you can control, is how you eat. It's
or like the
fascinating.
connection, like I feel like food obviously is something like how you connect with people, like you have dinner together. Like food and love, I feel like, is like what the world revolves around. Like everyone wants love, everyone wants companionship, but like we also need to eat to survive, and we enjoy eating, and food is the center for celebration, like, or any sort of gathering, like any sort of significant ceremony or gathering or celebration. Food is the center plate.
100%. It's how you share your culture or your values with another person, with a stranger or visitor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, food is important.
Yeah, it's big.
Do you have scissors? So I can cut this back.
Yes.
Because it will decorate.
Weeding through the cameras.
Wait a second. There were scissors in one of these drawers.
How did my little baby
That
turn
works.
out?
Yeah.
So cute. The perfect bite size.
I think it'll fit right into your purse.
Aww.
Oh, wait, let me... So for the glaze, you don't need a pastry bag. You could just spoon the glaze on. Oh, these scissors.
Are they bad? There's another option.
Maybe we go option 2.
Tried that. That looks sharper.
Let's see.
These probably haven't been.
I don't know if this will...
Is it just the
nice scissors?
Oh, wait. Look. I don't know
Oh, yes.
what these.
Oh, perfect. Wow.
That's some like crazy.
What?
I don't know what that's about,
Can
but
you show me those, please?
Oh, sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback when you have your phone so close to the mic.
I hear
Hopefully
it.
this works.
I feel like those are way overkill. I've never seen anything like that before.
Triple blade scissors.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
And they don't even work.
What is the point?
Maybe we can just work. I do need to cut. I like to cut the bag shorter so it's not so big, but then I do need to cut a little tip off. We could try to slice it off. We're doing these.
As you can tell, everyone, this is my mother's kitchen, and she's not too good at keeping things sharp. So,
Alright, I think that works. Yep. Then we can toss these things. And yeah, so you don't need a pastry bag. I prefer to use a pastry bag. It just makes things a little neater. Another thing you want to keep in mind is that the glaze hardens pretty quickly. So I try to put for every 5 that I glaze, I like to put, I don't want to wait too long to put the sprinkles on.
okay.
So I will do the hearts,
wash my hands.
and then I'll let you do the circles.
Okay.
I'm washing my hands, everyone. COVID-19.
Wash your hands regularly.
I mean, it's been a whole 2
Pandemic
hours
or
since
not,
I've been washing
we
my
wash
hands.
our hands here at
I'm
Ghost
sorry.
Rock Digital.
We do. My hands are chapped from washing them so much. I don't know if that happens to you guys. You have a good moisturizer?
No.
I don't have anything special.
See, I've got red.
You are special.
Well, thank you. So then I have my strawberry glaze, and was it called on video earlier that the tint, the pinkness and the flavor is natural. So then I like to just kind of outline whatever the shape I'm doing. I don't want to go too far to the edges because it's going to spread. So I kind of do it more centered because it will reach out.
That noise you're hearing in the background is the dog crying that he's not getting a treat right now.
Well, he smells the Pop-Tarts.
He does, yeah.
So
This is not, no, these are for people.
even if you start pretty small, it's going to, as you can see, this one's starting to reach the edges. So,
Oh yeah, it does spread really.
yeah. And especially
Just
since
because how warm they are?
it always does it, but when they're warm, it's even more.
Okay.
And then we can do a little,
Aw.
and
I love
then
my little guy!
you can just put on some sprinkles. And that's always the most fun.
This sounds like a great thing to make with kids. If you have a bunch of
Oh,
kids
yeah.
who are stuck in the house. And
Yes. Super easy. And for filling, I'll fill the pastry bag for you, and then you can do this next part. But
Okay.
for people at home, I always assume people know how to do this, but they don't. So when you have a pastry bag, the easiest way to fill it is open it up. Use your dominant hand for the scooping, your other hand for the holding. I like to hold the bag over my hand like this to have an opening here, and then I will scoop the glaze in and use this hand to kind of grab it. So I'm just pulling the glaze down. This is the least messy way to do it. A lot of people put them in cups so you can do it hands-free, but might as well not waste a cup if you can do it with your hands. And then you don't want to fill it to the top because then it's going to leak over. But
Okay. So I just put a circle like this.
and then you just can kind of fill it in. And you can kind of use the tip of the pastry bag, like I'll even like to, you don't even have to push anything out. You can kind of just like mesh everything together.
I feel like I should make it even smaller because it's spreading so fast.
Yeah. Cute.
Fitz is dying down there. Do you make doggy treats too for doggos?
I do not.
That would be a.
This might
Not
be
that you
too
don't have
much
enough on your
sugar.
plate, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
that would be a popular.
It would be
item.
fun. Yes, do you smell it? It smells so good.
Erica in the comments would like to place an order for 3 Pop-Tarts.
Oh,
3?
well,
Yes, she's like, hi, I want one. Actually, 3.
to order, if you did want to order Pop-Tarts, right now on my website, you have to order by a minimum of 6 per flavor.
Yeah.
But I will
What a
have
shame that you have to have more Pop-Tarts.
I need a week's notice. But in the future, I will have a curbside menu where I'll be baking these fresh daily, and you can buy things individually. I'm working on that right now.
Are you taking my sprinkle
dear.
game here?
There, go for it. Sorry, I love sprinkles, so I just started. It's automatic. So cute.
These are nice. These are cute.
Yeah,
I
they're
like
called
little
fancy sprinkles.
Circle sprinkles. That's the only thing that's different about them, right?
Yeah, it's just like a mixture. They have like different like lines of different fancy. They have like a whole vegan line, and they do really cool. Their package, it's just cool. They have cool packaging, and they have like themes for everything.
I
so.
have a concern, and that is that the tiny one did not receive any
Oh, I'm
sprinkles.
so sorry, Sally. I felt like I think
See, do you see
instinctually
how
I
it
just
doesn't-
saved it for you.
It kind of didn't dry on there because we waited too long.
Oh, so
Extra,
you
yeah.
have to do it. That's an important point. So you have to do it quickly after you put the icing
Yes, yes. So now they're done, and they might be really hot on the inside still.
You look so excited.
on. I am.
Yeah, they might be too hot to eat, but we can try.
Should
Should we try?
I don't think we should.
Should
let
we cut them
people
with a
in
knife
this
or
video.
something, and then let them cool off a little bit in the middle?
Yeah, maybe we can
Okay.
cut them into 4ths. I hope they're good. I always worry.
They're gonna be great.
Oh, they look so cute. Well, there's a whole bowl of glaze if anyone has a sweet tooth tonight.
I always do.
Yes.
Okay.
I think
Does it feel hot or does it feel?
this is the inside.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's not too hot.
Not too hot.
Mmm.
So good.
Really good.
Wow.
Mm.
I don't think I've
Perfect.
ever had a fresh Pop-Tart.
Really
They're the best.
really
when they're
makes a
warm.
difference. Dad, you want a Pop-Tart fresh from the oven? They're really yummy.
Alright, I'll take the little one. I've eaten a lot of sweets.
No,
That's Sally's little
I
one.
can't
Here.
give you the little one. I'm sorry.
Just blow on it a little bit because the jam might still be hot in the middle.
Yeah, and it feels perfect.
So tasty.
Mm.
All right, people online.
Yummy.
Yummy?
These were good. I'm gonna stop streaming now.
Yeah, they're really,
Great
really
night.
good.
Yeah, those are winners.
I'm crossing the
Yay.
camera.
Well, now you'll have so many Pop-Tarts.
I know.
And they last for like up to 4 days. So you don't have to go through them today. I've never really tried freezing them because I try to like keep these
Should we
fresh.
take a picture before we devour all of them?
Probably. There's 4
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
maybe we can all take
I
a
don't
picture
think we should
together.
leave it where the
Yeah, my phone is dead, so I have to. You guys have to do that, and then maybe we can post it later.
Okay.
Ooh, I have an idea. Maybe.
Did you stop recording? Or?
Okay, we take pictures of these all the time.
Let's stop recording, so we can.
Can I,
Should we say farewell or just
Okay,
stop?
everybody, we're leaving now. We're stopping recording. There's fresh baked sweets on the counter, so we gotta eat them
They're
while
very
they're nice and
good.
piping hot, and they're really yummy, and everyone's very distracted. So we're gonna stop recording. We're very sorry that the live stream did not function the way it was supposed to, but we got this great video and we're uploading it.
Okay.
By the time you see this, it would have been uploaded. So follow Ghost Rock, follow Sugar High Louisville on Instagram, sugarhighlouisville.com. You can order custom cakes, you can order Pop-Tarts, you can order cupcakes. What else can you order?
Cookies, cookie sandwiches, my cake mix, that can be shipped. It's the one item that can be shipped nationwide.
So Sugar High cake mix can be shipped nationwide. If you're in Louisville, you can do custom pastries, or you can order pastries wholesale for your shop or coffee shop, or
Yeah, I'm looking for more wholesale accounts.
Will
so.
this
Okay,
tiny
great.
Pop-Tart
So-
in my bag
you contact sugarhighlouisville.com, sugarhighlou.com. It takes you to the same place.
to take out?
And Ashley Bender is the creator and business owner, and she's doing all of it herself. She's doing an amazing job. So support.
Aw.
You want to say bye, Ashley?
Bye everyone. I think you covered everything, but yeah, no, this is so fun and yeah, bye.
Okay.
It does fit.
Nicola,
It does.
we're good.